Hello everyone and welcome back to another module of this course concerning communication and public awareness. This module will be held by the Greek NGO IC and I am Anastasia. Since according to the United Kingdom Government Chief Scientific Advisor, science isn't finished until it's communicated, this module concerns the procedure of science communication, its strategies and its tools. Science communication should be an integral part of every scientific project in order for this project to achieve some of its main goals, which should be the dissemination of the project, the communication of every step of this project to the public, as well as the participation of other relevant communities than the scientists themselves. So in this module, I am going first to present you the goals of science communication, its definition, and some considerations and possible results. Then I'm going to present you the Blackfish Effect, which is a massive campaign against imprisoned marine animals in tanks, which started from an incident and possibly ended up in a massive campaign because of the efficient communication of the scientific knowledge on this topic. Then you're going to see some of the tools for communicating science, starting from the traditional ones to the ones that are used nowadays. In the end, I'm going to present you an IC's project called Is It Alien to You, SERIT, which is basically communicated through social media. The goals of efficient science communication should be to raise public awareness towards science and public engagement with scientific issues. In addition, through science communication, people should participate in science, and science communication should support the understanding of scientific topics. So, through science communication, people should feel that a scientific approach is urgent in every issue. And as a result, people should feel positive towards science. This will make people really get involved in scientific issues, especially by participating in scientific projects, and this will lead to the real understanding of scientific topics in a simple way in order for the people to gain knowledge about these issues. Let's now define the term of science communication. Science communication is the use of appropriate skills, media, activities, and dialogue in order to produce one or more of awareness, enjoyment, interest, opinions, and understanding of science. This procedure may involve science practitioners, mediators, and members of general public. Awareness includes the procedure of familiarizing public with new aspects of science. Enjoyment means to create good feelings of the public towards science, and interest means to support public's voluntary involvement in scientific issues or their communication. Opinions is the forming, reforming, or confirming the attitudes of people based on scientific knowledge. The understanding of science means that people understand the content of science, its processes, and the social factors. There are two models of science communication. The first model, the deficit model, is a one-way communication which starts from scientists and aims to inform the non-expert public. The most updated definition of science communication corresponds with the second model of science communication, the dialogue model. The dialogue model is a two-way communication which also starts from scientists that inform the non-expert public, but scientists also take into consideration the feedback that they received from the non-expert public. In addition, according to this model, every step of science is based on the engagement and the involvement that different stakeholders have in different scientific issues. So, according to the dialogue model, a scientific topic is disseminated among non-experts who get engaged with it and shape the scientific approach of the topic. A good example of this could be the project Alliance for Survival, which was implemented from IC in collaboration with Metaset. The goal of the project is to measure the impacts of bycatch and ghost fishing on the sea turtle and shark populations in Greece. The first step of the project included awareness-raising events in which fishers, monitoring authorities, and other stakeholders took part, and they were informed about the status of target species and fish stocks and the impacts of non-selective fishing methods and gears. This step also included capacity building workshops which aimed to train fishers in handling and releasing entangled species. The next step included the creation of a citizen science tool, particularly the CLI application, which allows fishers, port authorities, divers, and other sea users to record sightings of species in the Mediterranean Sea. The aim of the application is to enable scientists to gather more data in order to organize their next step in an efficient way. Why science communication is important? First of all, it informs people about scientific issues, so it is a procedure that can become an important source of knowledge for non-experts. It broadens scientific activities. For example, through citizen science, scientists can gather more data and expand their work. It sets the base of public opinion about policy, as people are aware about scientific issues through citizen science, so they become able to assess the efficiency of measures. In addition, science communication affects public decisions and personal choices of individuals, because their knowledge and involvement makes people aware of the results of their decisions and choices and shapes their values, attitudes, and behavior. Science communication also allows public to evaluate scientists and their work, and also allows public to support scientific activities through their involvement or even by funding. In order to achieve the goals of science communication, there are some things that you need to take into consideration. First of all, why and to whom do you want to spread your message, and which are the appropriate tools? In addition, you should not lose opportunities in order to spread this message, and you should also count on new ideas. An important point is to advertise the whole process of your scientific work and not only the results of it. And you should also count on science communication in order to really support your work. In addition, you should aim to really engage public and not only inform and spread the knowledge on the scientific topic. And in the end of the procedure, you should evaluate the results of your science communication. As a result, science communication raises awareness of the public towards aspects of science by making people aware of these aspects and enhancing their access to science. It also causes enjoyment towards science by promoting positive feelings, as it can be implemented in pleasant, simple, or even amusing ways, such as art. Citizen science also raises public interest towards scientific topics and major conservation issues, as it gives the people the chance to get involved in topics that are interested in or even concerned about. It also forms public opinion and attitude based on the scientific knowledge that people gain, And also, science communication promotes the understanding of science and the understanding of relevant social aspects. Let's now see how an incident became the Blackfish effect through efficient science communication. The incident took place in SeaWorld in Orlando, where Tilikum, an orca, was captive for 29 years and was responsible for the death of 3 people. Her last victim was her trainer, who was killed in 2010, and the documentary was broadcasted by CNN in 2013. In Blackfish documentary, the trainer's death was presented as a tragedy that could have been prevented if the orca wasn't subjected to cruelty and intentionally killed her trainer. Through orca captivity, the documentary reversed the perception of hierarchy of humans over animals and the existing exercises power over them and asked humans to rethink their relation to non-human world. The documentary also depicted orcas in captivity as suffering and not even needed for scientific research. So, Tilikum's reaction was explained as a symptom of post-traumatic stress disorder caused by her imprisonment and her bad living conditions. The documentary contributed to the public perception of captivity and to the public will to protect apex predators and get engaged with related environmental issues. So this mass publicity of Blackfish and the public's reactions is now known as Blackfish effect and has led to massive protests and policy changes. Some of the results that came up right after the broadcast of the documentary were that SeaWorld directly eliminated its breeding program and agreed to stop all orca performances by 2019. More than 25 viewers had seen the documentary 6 months after its broadcast. This led to an environmental justice movement and to the ban of orca performances. In addition, the annual revenue of SeaWorld was dropped over $80 million. Some of the tools that have been used through history up until now in order to fulfill the goals of science communication are documentaries like Blackfish, books, massive data collection which started through bird watching, workshops, scientific reports, newsletters, events concerning scientific issues, and others. Nowadays, with the advent of computers and the massive use of new technologies from different users from all over the world, social media, mobile application, online platforms, and other tools based on new technologies are massively used from people and support science communication and public engagement in scientific issues. So, some of the means that support science communication based on new technologies are blogs, forums, networks, platforms, and applications like CLI that was presented to you. This means enable public to take part and provide their data to scientists so that scientists can organize the next steps of their work. They also give the chance to scientists to organize massive campaigns and to raise awareness among people by providing informative material or other sources of knowledge. In addition, they give the chance to scientists to share and present their work, and they give the chance to users to interactively communicate with each other or even to communicate with scientists themselves. The number of new technologies users is significantly increased annually. I'm now going to provide you the numbers of mobile, internet and social media users for 2019. The global population numbers almost 7.7 billion people. More than 5 billion people are mobile users. The number of internet users approaches the 4.4 billion people. The active social media users are almost 3.5 billion people. The users that log in social media through their mobile are more than 3.2 billion people. Let's now see the total number of people that has access and actively uses internet in Europe according to some of the latest data. As you can see in the picture, in Northwest Europe, more than 90% of the total population has access to internet. In the Southeast Europe, more than 75% of the total population of that region has access and actively uses internet. This means that more than 80% of the Europeans have the potential to actively participate in science, as they already use social media, mobile applications and online platforms for other reasons, but also in order to gain knowledge or interact with each other. This gives them the chance to take part in every step of science, scientific research and every scientific issue. So, this amount of people that has access to internet can potentially be part of science, support the work of scientific community, be informed about scientific topics, and get engaged with every scientific issue. Particularly, a significant part of non-expert public who has access and actively uses internet can both has access to scientific data and can also contribute in data collection. This number of people can also have visually access to key points of scientific topics in simple and explicable way in order to understand and learn about these topics. In addition, they can be informed about the whole context of scientific topics apart from the results that are published from scientists. Let's now see a project of IC called Is Italian to You, SERIT, which is based on the engagement of non-experts, especially fishers, divers and other sea users through science communication for the monitoring of the expansion and the establishment of marine alien species in the Eastern Mediterranean. The project has already contributed to about 20% of the invasive alien species data provided by Greece to the European Commission. The main tool of the project is a Facebook group which numbers more than 6,500 members from more than 100 different regions, either in Greece or from other countries like Turkey, Albania, Italy and Cyprus. This Facebook group collaborates with more than 10 other Facebook groups and pages, and 3,000 of its members are active in a daily basis, which means that they either post their observations or comment on others' observations and generally interact with each other or with experts. More than 400 observers have at least posted one report of alien species. So, in this Facebook group, members publish photographs and other information about marine species that they observe and they are not aware of, and the scientific network works on this data collected from the group. Then, these scientists provide to the members the appropriate information. They assess the data and edit them in order to report them to the corresponding department of the European Commission and look for solutions for the environmental issue of invasive alien species for the marine ecosystems. The communication to the public is achieved with the use of different tools. Up until now, more than 40 articles and 5 radio interviews have been published, and in collaboration with 10 other countries, IC has also published joint press releases concerning the invasive alien species of the Mediterranean. In addition, 14 scientific publications and 4 conference papers have been published. The involvement of non-experts has led to more than 1,000 observations of more than 80 different species and to 3 totally new species found in the Mediterranean. An interactive map based on the data collected from the project is available where every new observation of invasive alien species is depicted. Last but not least, informative materials such as relevant posters are provided to the members of the group and every interested stakeholder like fishers and relevant authorities. Observation. Here, some more scientific sources are provided for extra information you may need. Thank you for your attention and do not hesitate to ask me for further information.